Race 3 of the British Formula 3 Championship at Oulton Park, and the man who was leading the series, Antonio Pizzonia from Brazil, on pole position, just 92 thousandths of a second quicker than his arch rival, who will start alongside him on the front row of the grid. The Brazilian expected to dominate this championship, but with severe opposition now coming from Thomas Scheckter, the second racing son of Ferrari's last world champion Jody. And the South African so close in qualifying, it's almost impossible to tell them apart. Second row of the grid, the best of the Renault engine cars, Guernseyman Andy Priaulx, and alongside him Ben Collins, returning to Formula 3, his fourth season, the British driver, the best of the Englishmen on the grid. And behind him, India's brightest single-seater racing hope, getting some last-minute advice here from Stewart boss Bruce Jenkins.
6 more holes rear wing than you.
6?
Yeah. So down to Ireland, up from Oulton to Knickerbrook, you're going to have a huge advantage over him. All right?
Carthagena being told that the man ahead of him on the grid is running much more rear wing. This is his teammate, though. This is Matt Davis in the second of the Renault cars. He's qualified in sixth spot alongside the Indian. Well, the crowd waiting in anticipation. A beautiful day in Oulton Park in the northwest of England, ready for round 3 of the Formula 3 Championship. And this has produced already some spectacular racing in the opening 2 events. Let's see how they fare here. The red lights are on, the revs rise, away they go. Nice clean start. One of the RC Benetton cars gets away very slowly. That's Nicolas Chiesa, but it's side by side into the first corner. Antonio Pizzonia holds on from Scheckter. They're wheel to wheel, and Scheckter gets the lead going down the hill for the first time. Thomas Scheckter from the outside of the front row of the grid leads the Renault drivers side by side in third and fourth. In the rain, Carthagena right with them as Ben Collins pulls off. He's got a puncture. Collins with a punctured tyre. Behind the leaders on the grass is Gianmaria Bruni, the red and white machine, challenging the rain Carthagena as the 2 Renault drivers were side by side. Riding now with Michael Bentwood down the inside of Takuma Sato. He's Ben Collins' teammate. Bentwood is Bruni's teammate. That's a change for 7th place as Bentwood moves up one in the Fortec machine. And look at that, the front wing missing from Takuma Sato's car. There it is. And that's at the first corner. So Sato missing a front wing plate, and his teammate Ben Collins coming down to the chicane. He's had a shortcut on his way back to the pits. The leader's coming up behind him. Looks as though Sato and Collins may have made contact. Well, there is Ben Collins, and here come the leaders. Past goes Scheckter, Pizzonia, then the 2 Renault drivers, then Carthagena, and then the Fortec cars. Well, Scheckter pulling out a big advantage already halfway round this first lap through Druids. He leads comfortably, riding down into the first corner with Michael Bentwood ahead. There is Sato's nose wing, and that sharp bit of carbon fibre punctured his teammate's rear tyre. So Collins and Sato making tiny amounts of contact, enough to leave them both in trouble. Well, the leaders continue to start to pull away from the field. There is Gianmaria Bruni, last year's Formula Renault Euro Cup champion, and he's got his teammate Michael Bentwood right behind him. Scheckter and Pizzonia. Pizzonia now starting to shake off the 3rd place car. That's Andy Priaulx in the Renault powered machine. Matt Davis in 4th place. Carthagena right behind him. Carthagena looking to make a move perhaps as they come down towards the end of the lap. Pizzonia not quite close enough to try anything on the other Stewart car. There's Carthagena over the curves. Bruni and Bentwood. Now here is Takuma Sato. With only half a front wing, he must be struggling dreadfully in the corners. He's got Juan Manuel Lopez and Nicolas Chiesa right behind him. Plenty of wheel-to-wheel action going on behind them. But Sato will soon be holding up the rest of the field. He won't have cornering grip. He won't have proper braking either, because the front tyre's grip relies on the nose downforce. And here he is. Oh, Lopez just holding on there as Chiesa tried to go down the inside and then around the outside all the way down the hill. And here is your race leader. Thomas Scheckter out front for the first time all season. Antonio Pizzonia dominated the opening 2 races of the championship. Now can Scheckter hold on under pressure from the Brazilian? More interestingly, can the Brazilian actually put in a race lead overtaking manoeuvre? He hasn't really had to do one so far, but he didn't quite get his start right. Scheckter had a blinding start around the outside of him. Didn't get the lead into the first corner, but took it on the way out. Sato still holding up this little group of cars, Lopez and Chiesa. Then that's Atsushi Katsumata, the Japanese driver, and he's got the Thai Torstria Charvanen right behind him in the dark blue Alan Docking racing machine. Pale blue car ahead of Sato is Milos Pavlovic, started ahead of him on the grid and managed to stay ahead at the first turn, and that's why he's not bottled up behind. Behind Sato though, Lopez now under pressure from Chiesa. Chiesa makes a move very early, all the way down the street. He's under the Bailey Bridge, he's alongside the Argentine. No way of defending that one. A lock-up of brakes ahead of them, you notice there, from the unladen left front tyre of Takuma Sato. That's because it's not getting the downforce it needs to hold on. Sriya Charvanen goes past the Japanese, and now he's got the leader of the scholarship class for newcomer drivers in older machines, Gary Paffett, the 61 machine right behind the Japanese. Well, Chiesa now past Lopez, and he'll be concentrating. Oh, as the Japanese driver goes off. Katsumata, will he stop it before the barriers? Not quite, and that may be enough to derange the front suspension of the car. Katsumata went wide at the bottom of the hill, and it spun him across the road, flicked him, fortunately for him, clear across an open track. Race leaders, Antonio Pizzonia in second place, chasing Thomas Scheckter, as he's been doing since they exited the first turn. Approaching Druids, one of the fastest corners on the track, double apex right-hander, very daunting corner indeed. And Thomas Scheckter holding on out front. Pizzonia so far unable to get quite close enough to challenge. Now he's very close indeed though. Down into D Elite they go, and as they get onto the start-finish straight, Pizzonia's dropped back a little bit, perhaps getting too close too soon. Nicholas Chiesa, car 12, chasing Takuma Sato, and he's lining up to make a move. Look at Sato, almost on the grass on the inside, so desperate is he to defend. That left front wheel is not helping him though, locking up very early, and of course that much reduces the braking effort. As a result, he's on the inside, but Chiesa can still go past. Oh my goodness, and they've contact! Chiesa firmly into the barriers as Chiesa and Sato make contact. Sato trying to fight back with that damaged car, always going to be a tall order to outbrake Chiesa there. He went desperately down on the inside to try and take that place back. You can see what Chiesa thought about it. Well, the rest of the queue that was behind them continue. Here is Juan Manuel Lopez leading that bunch now, with Torstria Charvanen the tie behind him. And then, having picked up 2 places, the pair of them, they've also got Gary Paffett behind. And there is Chiesa stalking away. He won't be happy with that. So Lopez, Sriya Charvanen, and behind Gary Paffett is Wesley Barber, another young newcomer to the championship. Raced in France for the last couple of seasons. 18 there, that's the Irish driver Warren Carway. The yellow flags are out, safety car board is being shown. That means the race will be brought under control. And the red and yellow flag to show a slippery surface on the track, and that's from the huge amount of mud and grass down there, as well as from the oil. Well, let's have a look here. Here's Chiesa to the left of picture. Goodness me, well, there was really very little room there indeed. The track gets much narrower on the inside, and Chiesa didn't give Sato any room to manoeuvre. Maybe you could argue Sato put himself in an untenable situation, especially with that already damaged nose and a tyre that must, by that stage, frankly, have been starting to give up the ghost anyway. Well, 2 badly damaged cars retrieved from that all-important safety runoff area outside the first turn there. Restarting now, the safety car's pulled in. And what a great restart. Thomas Scheckter miles ahead of Antonio Pizzonia. Pizzonia must have been asleep. Prio in 3rd, Davis in 4th. Karthikeyan in 5th place, didn't get a good restart either, still a long way behind the Renault drivers. And then the Fortec pair in 5th and 6th place, that's Gian Maria Bruni and Michael Bentwood. Behind them is Martin O'Connell. He's got Milos Pavlovic, the pale blue car behind, and a battle between Gary Paffett and Torstria Charvanen at the restart. Paffett trying to work his way up the order already, twice a race winner in the scholarship class, and really looking to be the class of that field. Well, Karthikeyan in the 2nd Stewart car, number 3 machine, trying desperately to latch back onto the tail of Matt Davis. And that's for 5th position. But look at that, big gap for Thomas Scheckter at the restart. As he came across the line, he was a couple of seconds ahead nearly, and that was a very big mistake by Antonio Pizzonia. riding with Michael Bedward. His teammate Gianmaria Bruni ahead of him. The two Fortec machines running nose to tail, as are the two Renault cars. Well, what can Antonio Pizzonia do now from second place to close down the leader in the all-white Stewart machine? He's certainly starting to slice away at the margin, but Thomas Scheckter, even though they were very close together at the first start, managed to ease away from Pizzonia. 9 laps to go, so still plenty of time for Pizzonia to try and make a move. Run by the Manor Motorsport team that won last year's championship. There's Thomas Scheckter's dad, Jody. He's looking about as nervous as a father could be. Wesley Barber versus the car ahead of him now of Gary Paffett. Two young Britons charging. There's Pizzonia's girlfriend on the left, his mother on the right. They're all here to watch him. And here is another scholarship place changing hands. The 66 car is Ryan Walker taking a spot off Mark Mail. Torshuya Charpnan down the inside of Wesley Barber. The Alan Docking Racing teammates squabbling over 12th. The tie has it at the moment. Halfway round the final lap now at Oulton Park, and Antonio Pizzonia in the interim has reeled in the race leader. He's closed right onto the tail of Thomas Scheckter. The question is Scheckter nursing his car around with a problem, or has Pizzonia got something in hand? Maybe Scheckter is comfortable enough to have him there. He's led all the way through this race. His first lead laps in the race in a British Formula 3 Championship. Right from the start, he's been in front at Oulton Park. And just this final overtaking opportunity left for Pizzonia. He's not close enough to take it. The drag out of D-Elite to the line will go to Thomas Scheckter. Scheckter will win his first race in the British Formula 3 Championship of 2000. He is a delighted man. The South African patting the nose of his steed as he came across the line. Well done, baby, he's going. Congratulations indeed to Thomas Scheckter. Antonio Pizzonia raced very hard but couldn't get it back from him. Well, here is the battle between Torshuya Charpnan and Wesley Barber coming to the line. Right behind Gary Paffett, who wins the scholarship class. He's 11th overall. Another great result. 3 starts, 3 wins in the championship for him in that scholarship category. And somebody very special is going to have to come along to give Gary Paffett real problems. The battle for the overall title, though, well, Thomas Scheckter and Antonio Pizzonia already establishing themselves as the main title rivals. Scheckter clinching his first win of the year in race 3, Pizzonia twice a winner already. He leads the championship, but now by just 4 points from the South African.